Yo, Mm, what's good, people? It is episode 32 of the Something Show, and the title of today's show. Hmm, Kind of puzzling, eh? Anyway, it's Jesus Take the Wheel. Because there's so much happening in the world. We are we're gonna have a difficult time even trying to find where to start. We want to attack a lot of points. We want to have an open conversation. You're free to drop your comments in the comment section, things that you want to talk about. Uh, but like I say, there's a lot going on. Um, and it's crazy how things are serious, but they're still kind of considered old news. For instance, the war with Russia and Ukraine, kind of considered old news, seeing as though they don't report on it as much as they did when it first kicked off. But yeah, that's still happening. Um, Donald Trump being arrested seemed like that just happened yesterday, but it's already old news. To see the good doctor is on. Can you hear me? There he is. What's up, Doc?
What's going on, buddy?
Right here, bro. Right here. I was just telling the
Every time
people
I
that
comment, sound settings. There we go. How's that?
yeah, you're platinum. You're platinum.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. How's it going, man?
It's good, man. It's good on my side. Trying to keep it moving. A lot of interesting things happening in your personal life and all. It's a lot of changes.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's what this show is about.
yeah, Jesus got to take the wheel. I mean,
Let's just take the wheel.
if that's how it works, throw your hands up and just see where the car goes. I don't know how good of a plan that is, but
Boy,
so,
well, anyway, let's not get too far too quick.
yeah,
Let me jump
sometimes.
on what you were saying there.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you were saying something when you came
Oh
up when
yeah,
I
yeah,
came
yeah,
up.
yeah. Now I was introducing everyone to the show and letting them know what it's all about. Um, this is what we're doing. We're trying to just jump on a few topics of current events and try to make not really try to make sense out of it, but just try to find figure out where we want to go from here,
Yeah.
which is also another good topic because Bahamian is supposed to perform at the 50th anniversary, 50th independence.
All right.
Um, yeah, in July 1st. And one of the songs I wanted to do is the song "Where Do We Go From Here?"
Mm,
And it's amazing how stuff that you did 25, 30 years ago, not me personally, but the band, um, that seems so relevant today. Like, is a huge question. Like, where do we go from here? We've been through a few prime ministers. We've been through two administrations. We've had numerous third parties. Like all of these things. We just have an open conversation here today, ladies and gents, boys and girls. And we'd like to just um, say, because my mother says it's a must.
yeah.
We're not professionals in a lot of things we talk about, but we some real smart dudes.
And real dudes.
And be very, very real. Very, very.
It was a rough week, and and that's why we kind of had this. We usually base our topic just for the public to know when we're choosing a topic. Um, Sometimes we use current events. Sometimes we use personal events or things that happen to us. Um, this particular week, a lot of different things happened to all three of us. I started off my week with losing one of our fighters, man.
Yeah.
Um, this guy who we used to compete with, against, and train with. He was a fighter at the headline one of the Bomac cage fight events, Tyrone Oliver. Um,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, lost his life last week, Friday. And well, it was kind of early Saturday morning. And him and his brother lost his life at the same time. I know that's kind of tough. That's really tough for a family, a mother to wake up to, man, losing your two sons in one shot. You know, his father sounded pretty distraught on the news, but he talked about how he really used to tell him to be careful and watch the company he keeps and watch the things he does.
Yeah.
So that was kind of rough. Somebody close to you like that, and somebody who had a lot of promise. Because Tyrone, you always call me Doc, and Tyrone. First of all, he always would make these really interesting motivational stories he would post on his status. He would always post about being motivated.
Right.
Post videos of himself training.
Right.
He would post the results from his fights. He's fought. He's fought in Europe. He's fought in Asia. He's fought in the States. Um, and a really, really talented lightweight boxer, man. Really talented guy. He was interested in other martial arts as well, but really talented boxer, fast, powerful hands, and I really thought he could go places.
Yeah.
But I always it made me think again about what causes us to lose young men like that. What causes us to lose so much talented young men? 2 weeks ago, we were talking about remember Lil Buju? We
Yeah.
was talking about Lil Buju 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why is it that why is it that some of my friends, and I know JP would get on this point in a second, but why is it that so much of our friends would say, "Hey man, don't stay in the Bahamas. You ain't going nowhere." Uh, you know,
Yeah.
you need to leave, man, if you want to maximize your potential.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm living that right now. My daughter is a very talented gymnast, and we're gonna have to look at sending her to a school that focuses on gymnastics. Because she's pretty talented. So again, why why when we say Jesus take the wheel, what exactly do we want him to do with the wheel?
Well,
Like
let's stick on Tyrone a little bit longer. Um, and the ideal of being young Bahamian talent. And with the Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen, our international audience, the Bahamas is 700 islands, rocks, and keys. It's spread out over 100,000 square miles of the Atlantic Ocean, but there are like 13 inhabited islands. And the capital is Nassau, and New Providence, the city being called Nassau. Um, we have I think just south of 500,000 people. Am I right,
yeah,
Doc? But
yeah, yeah.
just south of 500,000 people. The island itself is 21 by 7. In my mind, I look at small cities around, small neighborhoods around the world, that have little small towns that have, that is probably a little bit bigger or just a little bit smaller than New Providence. You would think this is a nice place to raise your children. This is a place where they're going to be safe. They may get mixed up in some little mischief, but it's only going to be, like not even the first season of Riverdale. It's like reasonable mischief, reasonable mischief. But what we see in the Bahamas, as small as it is, and I'm sure it's. I mean, you can pick out certain situations in every area, but because it's so small, it's amplified, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of young talent being taken away from us too soon.
And it's
And
not just small; it's dense. Just
yeah,
to add to one of your points, 80% of the population lives on one of the smallest islands.
correct,
Yeah,
correct. So, and then the argument is that we're not overpopulated. Well, the Bahamas in itself is not overpopulated, but maybe the island is. Um, but sticking on the point here, young talent being taken away from us too soon. And what is too soon for me is the fact that our young talent they don't reach their peak, or they're not what's the word I'm looking for? Discovered or
okay.
recognized or valued valued. What's up, JP?
What up, what up?
Until like it's too late. Like they do good for many, many years. They don't get their roses, they don't get their money, they don't make their paper, and then they have to resort to doing other things because they can't make a living in their talent. You
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
All right, y'all,
talking
y'all catch me up.
All right, all right.
talking about Tyrone Oliver, the boxer, one of our um, fighter colleagues won in the fighter community in the Bahamas who lost his life
Okay,
last Saturday morning. That
a young
bothered me a
man,
lot.
right? Young man.
Yeah, young guy. That actually bothered me a lot. Um, and the question is why is it that we lose talented people, and especially talented young men usually end up dead? Now, talented women, uh, if they go astray, it usually means they end up having a child too early or something like that, or they drop out of school. But the men usually end up dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's usually gang violence or some other type of violence or drug related or gang related, something like that. So the question is, I guess you just answer the question, because those are the three things that are associated usually with why these guys die:
Yep.
drugs, some type of crime, which may be connected to a gang, some type of revenge killing, murder, or just some stupid, silly argument. I understand. I haven't heard the entire story, but and I hate to give unofficial news, but from what I'm hearing is the incident with Tyrone was in relation to somebody's girlfriend.
Hmm.
Now I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true. But the point is, why as men, why do young men fall off like that? And I think we know why. We talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm. So that's a question to me, since I just come in.
No, no, it's just bring you up to speed.
Just,
Okay,
just bring it up to
And
okay, go
and
ahead.
and what I was saying from there is like oftentimes, and like we try to look. We had a show where we were trying to solve crime the other day, right? Us three superheroes. We were trying to figure out how we could solve crime, and really and truly the crime, the the issue of crime is so multi-layered. It's so deep. It's so many different things that we have to address in order to say, okay, why do young people turn to a life of crime? Or why would I not pay custom duties? Why would I turn for a life of crime of escaping and any taxes that the government may levy against me? Um um and the
No, but that's
reason.
different, man, Dyson, man. You're talking
No,
about
but no,
white
I'm saying
white collar crime.
yeah, but I'm trying to make it broad. I'm trying to make it broad. I'm trying to say crime is crime, and then why would anyone want to get
I don't think
more than
no, I
what
don't
is
think
their
crime.
due?
I don't think crime is crime.
You don't think crime is crime?
Uh-uh.
Not every crime you're gonna
Because
go to jail for.
no, man, crime isn't crime. You changing your receipt or lying to the customs officer when you come to the airport. That ain't the same thing as murdering somebody. Come on, man.
When I
Crime
grow
crime
up,
isn't crime.
Dr. Bazard, who I used to spend many weekends at playing Nintendo 64, you know that we grew up knowing that a liar is a thief and a thief is a murderer.
That,
One,
that, that,
you grew up on that too. A
that
liar
Hey,
is
hey,
whole that,
hey, hey! I out of the Super Nintendo 64 conversation, man.
and a thief is a murderer. So one crime they say leads to another. It's a gateway, right?
that's potential, man. So I mean, everybody is
No,
potential to be a murderer then,
well,
because we all lie.
we all
So we
Some are
should
do.
guilty.
reword it then. Let's say right is right and wrong is wrong. Is that better?
Right. No, see, okay, you try to get me off my point. The generalization of the point is that the generalization is, why do people do things that they ain't really supposed to do? Right. And one of the things that I notice about myself, I'll speak about myself.
Please do.
I could take weeks to get into a groove of creating music. But once you see me lock in that groove, I could stay there forever, literally, like forget to eat until I start getting headaches and stuff like that. Because it swallows me. It becomes my focus. It is where I'm most comfortable. It is my space. The space that was created for me. Anytime I have to remove myself from that space that is created for me, I become frustrated. I say, okay, this is not feeding me. This ain't paying the bills. This ain't doing. I could be great at it now. I could be one of the best on the island. You see what I'm saying? I could be one of the best in my block. But if I'm not getting the recognition, if I'm not getting the due return for the time investment that I'm putting into the place that I'm born to be, then I'm going to end up being someplace else. And I believe that when we have to exist outside of our gift, outside of our talent, or even outside of our interests, we one step into the bottom. I'm not saying that everyone should be. If you can operate in your gift, you're blessed. But we're not even trained. We're not even brought up to think that it's possible. I always tell the story that my dad, who is an 8th degree oboe player, he was quick to send me to school. He's like, music is great, son, but don't make it your livelihood. Put something underneath your belt. So I was groomed from I was a child, from I was 4 or 5 years old, knowing that I can have fun doing music, but this isn't.
But was that a advice to say, in case it doesn't work, you have something to fall back on, rather than don't deal with music at all? What would you say?
Music is a hobby, point blank. Don't treat it as nothing else other than a hobby. But I'm not. I mean, that was just.
That's what I try. Okay, hold on. Okay, cool. Ken, I actually forward you the picture. What I just picked up a couple days ago from Guitar Center.
The latest MPC.
Exactly. I just picked it up. Now, I ain't been making music production wise for like maybe 11 years. Right? I just walk inside Guitar Center just browsing, which I'll never do again.
They put you in the
I
whole
never doing it again. Because look here, I listen, let me tell you something, bro. I was working in the area, right?
$4,000.
Listen, bro, I was working in the area, just chilling. So lunchtime, I wanted short story. I keep it short. I want to go out something to eat. So there was a plaza. And I was like, okay, they got a little healthy stuff. Let me go to eat. So I sat down and eat. So I looked to the left, but I was like, oh, Guitar Center. So I eat my food. Time to go back to meet my guys now. Walking back to my Jeep. I'm like, Guitar Center. See, I should have said, keep walking. Nope. Me and my silly ass walk right in Guitar Center, right? Walk in the pro audio section. And let me tell you, from the years I was producing music back then, everything changed and blew my mind. As far as equipment, as far as prices, everything blew my mind. Because back in the day, prices was high. Now it's like affordable. And I ain't planning to walk out there with nothing. Ask Kent what I sent him. Just copy it, just buy it. But no, I ain't even opened it yet, bro. But what I'm trying to say this. If something is embedded in you.
Yeah.
Which is, and hold on, I have a full-fledged business for 15 solid years. It's flooring. Okay? Employees to work, licensed and insured all over Florida. So, would you say music to me, seeing that I came from that background, is more than a hobby? If I could just on a whim just pick something up just like that to get back into where I left off, would you consider that just a hobby?
You're a prime example of exactly what my point, the base of my point.
Go ahead. That's why I brought it up.
Young Bahamian talent. If he was able, if this young boxer, if there was a culture of I remember when they had the Coliseum that is now, I mean, I think even it closed down nowadays to get the South. They had a boxing ring when we was winning all these international tournaments and championships and becoming lightweight champion of this and that. We bring all these things down. When they were able to consistently make money from boxing, we look at our young boxing superstars and they able to make money from it. They don't have to go abroad like how Juan had to go abroad in order to make himself the man that he is, that who could walk into a Guitar Center and afford to exist in where he is. I know for a fact, music. I didn't choose music. I run from
Okay.
music. I run from music. I was even told to run from music, and I still end up as an entertainer. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you can't help it. But I was blessed in order to have that. I'm saying that our young talent,
But
regardless
you
of
can
who it
sing,
is,
bro.
yeah, but
You see, that's you could actually sing. You
yeah,
see,
100%.
so for you, you have an automatic advantage.
No,
yes,
we,
Go ahead.
we forget we leaving something out, right? And y'all know how I go. I always like to look in the mirror first before I start to point the finger anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I remember one night after a UFC fight and many drinks. And I usually when I have many drinks, I start to speak some prolific things, right?
right.
But
Get deep.
I remember this fight in particular. This fight, my
Oh, boy.
fight was. Let me show you why. Let me show you why I got into an argument with my, because we usually would go watch the fights, and then sometimes have a discussion afterwards about the fight. Right
Right.
now, another this is back like kind of when we first started, but nevertheless, we watched the UFC fight, and I remember this one particular fight. GSP was fighting Hendricks,
Right.
and Hendricks did a lot of. He was one of the few guys who actually got to do damage to GSP. And if you know GSP, George St. Pierre,
Well,
he's
so,
a kind
yeah.
of he's a guy who'll take you down and just hold you down for the whole match and beat you up. He was the champion at the time. All right, they went
Right.
5 straight rounds. He's one of the Hendricks is one of the few people actually put his hand on GSP's face and made him look like he took some damage. So everybody was like, "Oh, he should win. Look how he look."
Yeah.
But my point was, he didn't win. He lost the decision. Hendricks, GSP won. GSP was the champion. And my
Mhm.
point to these guys was, you got to beat the champion.
Oh, yeah.
If you challenge the champion, you can't beat him up. You have to beat the champion.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Now,
You can't
a lot of people outside or who don't understand fighting won't understand that. What that means is, when I beat the champion, what that means is you have to take that opportunity that you have and you have to lay it all on the line at that time when you get that opportunity. You cannot half-ass it. You can't say, "I can wait for the next opportunity. I'm gonna. Uh, I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have that. So I can't do my best right now. I don't have the right machine, so I can't make the right music. I don't have the right gloves, so I can't train properly. I
Right.
don't have fights going on around here, so I can't get no exposure."
Mm.
Those type of excuses was valid 20, 30 years ago. It's different. It's much different now.
Mhm.
But especially when you get the opportunity and you can bullshit on it.
And you fumble the bag. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's only you.
No.
There's only one person to blame. You can't blame. Don't blame the government. Don't blame the country. Don't blame
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
Don't blame your parents. Don't blame society. Don't blame your friends. Don't blame your job. Don't blame none of that. It's you. You the problem.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say that, he said, even though your dad, I feel like your dad shouldn't have told you not to do music, because you could do what
Right.
look what you've done, bro. Okay? You was live on I turned on my TV and Dyson live in London. Dyson and Wendy live in London talking on the flip. And I'm like, what the hell? You understand what I'm saying? So, bro,
Yeah.
it's take that opportunity. You see my brother Warren here? My boy went out on a limb with nothing and turned it into an empire. Bro, you cannot. I understand that there are difficulties. And just because you're in this country doesn't mean that you ain't gonna have no difficulty if you go to another country. You think boxers or fighters or musicians in the States don't have challenges? You think they don't have to work hard? You think they don't have barriers to overcome? You think they don't have people trying to swing them and swindle them out of
I
money?
think, you know what, to capitalize on your point, I think it's harder to get things done here. Now, I do think there's more opportunities here, but it's much harder to keep those opportunities because there is so much competition.
Mhm.
Yep.
for you to
Guess
stand
what?
out and say, hey, don't deal with this person, deal with him.
In the States, in my opinion,
Hmm.
you will lose it just as fast as you got it, bro.
Absolutely.
You can lose it just as fast as you got it.
It's facts.
Like that. Boom. There's a reason why people like, I mean, because of our small community, because of how
Mhm.
our geography is, you can use that to your advantage if you know how. All
Yeah.
right. Yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Let's take it back to the 1990s, where most of your money was what, selling CDs, right? Most of your money would have been from CDs. Trying to sell albums back in 1995 here in Nassau was a failed mission. So you go print 15,000 CDs and try to get them sold. That ain't happening, right? So that means you have to take a different approach. And the reason
Yeah.
why that ain't happening is because our community, our culture, our population is different. It's only, like you say, 500,000 people.
Mhm.
Right.
All right. Where you have Jamaica, who's probably the musical capital of the Caribbean. Jamaica have 2.5, I think, or 3 billion people.
Yeah.
Plus they have their music ingrained into their culture. Like really, really ingrained into their culture. They have live events with tens of thousands of people at it. You understand what I'm saying? We don't even have a venue that could hold that much people to have a concert like that. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yes, sir.
No, you just hit the nail.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay,
about
okay.
it's you hit the nail on the head. It's
So,
the
so, I'm,
culture.
but what I'm saying is, our culture isn't too dissimilar. The problem is, in my opinion, we tend to expect the same support, results, etc., as a first world country does, when we forget that we're a third world country and we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the infrastructure in place. We don't have in some cases our laws ain't even current enough to allow certain things to happen. You know what I had to do to start selling stuff online back in 2003, 2006? I had to go to the central bank and explain to them how it worked.
What?
So basically, you could be credited as the one that started selling things online, and that's all.
I'm telling
It's
you,
the
bro. People
structure.
No,
listen to me. I'm telling you.
that's a
That's
whole
all
nother
I'm
Jesus
telling
take
you.
the wheel situation.
No, bro. That's Jesus take the wheel for real. Because when we went there expecting to have a conversation. When we
Uh-huh.
got there, they were like, "Okay, tell us about how are you gonna selling products online?" I was like,
Yeah, e-commerce.
"No."
We want to know how we could steal
So
that idea from you.
it turned into a lecture. So luckily, I was well read and I was well studied.
Class
So I said, "Okay."
session.
It turned into a structure. And they're like, "Okay, so what happens with the clearinghouse here, and what happens in New York, and blah blah." And I had to explain all of that. Luckily, I read it and I knew and I understood it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the point I'm making is, um, and you two, all three of us are examples in different areas and different. We come from different backgrounds per se, but we have all excelled in our areas because we have one thing in common. That's because when you have a opportunity, you grab it by the friggin' throat and you choke it to death.
Yeah.
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 You just have to do that, and you can't let anything else get in your way. Not men, not women, not children, not toys, playing cars. I mean, sorry, parties, drinks, and all that stuff. You cannot let none of that. Friends can't let none of that get in your way. None of it.
I believe in a lot of instances though that takes inner voice, or I mean it always takes an inner voice and confidence, a certain level of confidence, a certain level of belief in self that says that I can. And when we have a lot of talented people that don't do it, anyway, maybe I shouldn't speak for those that sit on the talent, but I'll bring up off the off Tyrone Oliver. We also lost Ray Minus
Rick
Jr.
Minus Jr. Yep.
He's all Tyrone is 28, right? Am I correct? And he's about 28 years old. Ray was about 58 years old. Both of them young, right? Um, and when I got the news that we lost Ray Minus Jr., I remembered the song he did with MDs, who he also lost at a
Yep.
very young age, 41, 42 years old or something like that, 43. Um, and it just kind of drive home. When I went to the memorial service for MDs, I break down in tears. And it was, a lot of people may think that I was crying because he was dead. I wasn't. I was sad that he died, but I was crying because he was so close.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was so close. And you look at talented young people that devote their lives to their gift, and they get so close and die to something senseless. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and like you said, all of that brings it right back to, is it sensibility that would call on us and say that the only answer is for Jesus to take the wheel, or is it something that we putting in this car that causing it to not drive right?
I can take this one.
Yes.
That's I mean, it's not really a complicated question. Let me see if I can break that down in a better way. I feel, I don't feel, I think, right? I think that whether your talent be music, fighting, or whatever it may be, right? Especially coming from Nassau,
Mhm.
like can't always say the culture is strange. It's a strange culture if you're not from it and if you don't understand it. Okay. So things can be easily achieved in other cultures when we take on, as Bahamians, we take on different things we see other people do and then try to bring it on home and try to make that work. Right. And everything doesn't work with our people, bro. We are very, very hard to impress. We are very, very hard to sell a service to. We are very, very hard to, when you do something, be recognized as someone that's great and hold that title to be, recognized and uplifted in the community. So I said it to say this. Personally, I think that until the mindset of the people changes, the only way to achieve what you need to do or what you want to achieve when it comes to those type of crafts and stuff that you may want to take on, you have to leave, bro. You have to leave.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying every single occupation you take on that happens, that you have to leave. Some things you take on that's culturally engraved in the people already, it'll work. Sometimes it won't, but more than likely it will. Now, when it comes to music, like Ken says, Jamaica's right there. And Jamaica's music scene is way more supported, way more bigger. Plus, they have shows every other weekend to support their very own. We don't have that in Nassau.
And we can't get it because we don't understand that there
Exactly.
was a there was a strategy.
Hmm.
There was a strategy. And the Bahamas had their own strategy. We promoted what it was. We did an excellent job promoting what it is we wanted the Bahamas to be. When I say we, I mean it, the founders of the Bahamas, for which it stands. One people united in love and service.
Hmm.
We are a service country.
Yeah.
We are a big resort. That's what we wanted the Bahamas to be. Not a music mecca, not a sports mecca, not a whatever you want to talk about it mecca. We was interested in making this place a luxury destination for very, very rich people to come and rejuvenate themselves and spend all that money. That's what the Bahamas is. We did that successfully. We did it. We are no longer number one. We used to be, but we're no longer number one. And I'm not sure if we're gonna get back to number one because
Who's
of
number one now?
uh I can ask Google in a second.
All right.
But what Kent said a while ago, we're no longer number one, is because we were forward thinkers back then. But right now, the young people have to go in and fight with the ministries and the entities to get these permissions and licenses, and we have to explain ourselves, and we have to go through all of this extra work because the people that are making the decisions aren't the same forward thinkers that we had back then.
But why though?
Because change is scary. If I'm getting my money on time, every time, all the time, you come in and talking to me about changing any type of structure is scary to me. I'm already benefiting from the system as it is now. Do not change it. And
but can't they? But can't those people in those positions see that we're losing the race in the long run by thinking that way?
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yeah.
Not the short run, not the long run.
Yeah. Let's lighten up let's not lighten up the conversation because it's still more bad news. But there's more people that we've lost.
Yeah.
And I see a whole lot of memes going on around about the loss. I mean, I saw one that just says Maury is retired and Jerry Springer is now passed away. God rest his soul. Who is going to help these young ladies find their baby daddy?
Man, that's mean. That's mean. But you know, Jerry Springer.
Hey, that's not mean, you know that's kind of realistic. Go ahead.
Jerry Springer. Well, incidentally, I saw one of them short videos on YouTube. And I don't know why I'm getting these videos now, but I'm getting these videos with these women who are realizing that other women, some other women are really trifling, and they make videos about them. I don't know why I'm getting these videos, but anyway, so I saw a woman making a video with a Maury Povich clip with this girl who tested like 7 or 8 guys, and apparently she must have never watched Maury before. She didn't understand the concept, and she was like, "What is going on? Like, how is this woman not? Why is everybody comforting her? They're not comforting these men who are dragged on TV to be number 5, to be number 6, to be number 7, tested. Like, you know what type of humiliation that is to be number 5, number. That's
what
not.
Do you think that process is, Ken?
Take the wheel.
I always thought about that. What do you think the process is, right? And I gotta ask you that right here and then watch it on it. What do you think the process is? Say, for instance, you're one of those guys, right? Who calls Maury? Okay. Who drives you there as a man? Okay. And how do you get to the show knowing that is a very, very high chance that you're going to be humiliated to the world? What do you think that process is to get you there as a man? Because you couldn't get me there, you could pay me.
Well, well, I guess the girl have to give them the names, but you know they get paid for coming on the show.
Yes, absolutely. You still couldn't get me there.
That's you the one. Some people just want to get on TV. Some people just want to
pay. Some of them get paid decently, like $5 grand, $10 grand. They get paid decently to go on the show, you know.
Yeah, did you see the story?
And don't forget, we talk about America and Americans, right? So being on TV like that, you know, their Instagram pop off the chain after that, and you know, they're a local celebrity, and they get more.
Take that and lay that into a B celebrity role.
Yeah, get more chicks, and you know. Yeah. But anyway, the point I'm making is Jerry Springer show, the original Jerry Springer show, which I encourage everybody to go and watch the older shows, the old shows. When he had when people used to sit down, nobody standing up in the audience. A bunch of the whole audience is the youngest person in the audience is probably 35 or 40, and you know, he had interesting topics. Like one time he had the Grand Wizard from the KKK.
I remember that.
and the leader of the Black Panthers on the stage at the same time. I haven't seen anybody else brave enough to do that.
You sure that
that's
wasn't Ronaldo?
No, man.
Trust me.
That was the first time. That's at least one of the first times I saw a fight on Jerry Springer. That was a legit fight.
Yeah.
That was a legit
I remember.
fight. They was flinging chair. Everybody did it after that. Geraldo brought what's his name? He brought Farrakhan on the show.
Yes. I remember
Right?
now. Yeah, right.
Everybody followed suit after that. But he was one of the first set who brought those two and sat them down and said, listen, what is your problem with him and what is your problem with him? You know what I mean? So he was always a radical guy, but I never understood quite why he switched into, you know,
Trashy TV.
Ting,
yeah.
ting, 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 ting. Another Jesus take the wheel moment. Listen, so, but it ain't just the money, gents. It's that in today's world, substance don't sell nothing, but
Yep.
substance don't sell. The more substance it have, the less people take interest in it.
Absolutely.
But yet at the same time, Dyson, you want to say Jesus take the wheel when things go haywire. And that's my whole point of naming the show this. When I heard that a couple of days ago, it made me so mad because I'm like, it really pissed me off, right? Because if you really
Heard what?
I heard a woman say when they said when there was another murder, probably in retaliation of Homeboy's murder, right? There's another murder, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. And the lady said, oh, the young men killing each other. Jesus, what we doing with our country? Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm like, no. Jesus gave you the wheel. Jesus said, here's the wheel. Here's the road. I gave you the car. This is a real nice car. Here's the road. Here's the key. I give you a house and all. And here you go. All you gotta do is drive on this road. Go ahead. And then we do this. Jesus, take the wheel. You know?
I slam the gas pedal.
Yeah. I ain't touching it.
Listen to me. If you do that, if you're a driver and I see you do this, Jesus take the wheel, and you hit my car, I'm gonna beat you behind. I'm serious. I'm cutting you up. I'm gonna really cut you up.
But why, bro? Jesus did that.
Yeah, Jesus and
You can't walk by us for that. Jesus took the wheel.
But I was thinking about that hard, the Jesus take the wheel situation. And if you kind of figure it out, if you haven't figured out by now, we all love Jesus, for what he represents. I would say I love Jesus for what he represents. But in my mind, Jesus take the wheel it makes absolutely no sense. And I say that not because I to my understanding, Jesus existed in a time when there were no cars. Jesus literally walked. He walked.
So Jesus take the road? Jesus take the road, man?
Jesus take a step. Jesus walked so much that he even walked on water. You understand what I'm saying? And what I believe is just the same thing. Like people don't want to think. They do not want to work. They do not want to use their own strength. They just want to get everywhere fast, like this microwave oven type existence. Hot now, food now, fast everything. But Jesus wasn't no driver. He was not no race car driver. He didn't want to take no wheel. Jesus say, all right, let's walk. The song say take a step with Jesus or something like that. You have to take your time with these. Like we can't just, and like you saying, Kev, we can't just sweep every problem or obstacle we face and push it on somebody else's responsibility.
People just forget, right? And I don't know how to. I mean, we did say Jesus, so that's how it's turned into a religious conversation. But
yeah,
I'm not necessarily being preachy, but I'm just saying we consider ourselves a Christian nation. But nevertheless, when I hear these type of And this is why sometimes some sermons and sometimes when I go to certain churches and stuff, like I just get annoyed when I hear this type of stuff. Because in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, but there's no need for us to collectively gather in groups of dozens and scream out to the Lord to send mercy down for us. Right? You understand what I'm saying? I don't see it that way. I don't know the Bible, the stories I read, the Bible I read didn't say that that's the solution to your problems. It does say to offer praise and all of that stuff. And it did say to ask for help and ask for strength. Strength. What is strength for? Strength is to move stuff, right?
To
So you can do
handle
work,
labor.
right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you look at Genesis, look at the blueprint that God put down. He created a huge paradise. All right. It outlines the Bible. The Genesis outlines how big the a Garden of Eden was. It was huge.
Mhm.
And he took Adam and he created Adam, put Adam in there, and say, okay, Adam, you take care of stuff. And guess what? He peace out. Did he not peace out?
You peace out.
He did peace out, did he not?
Peace out.
You peace out.
He said, Adam, take care of this. I'm gonna check back in a little bit. I gotta go deal with some stuff. I'm gonna see you back later. Now go to work. And then he came back and he said, you know what, Adam look kind of lonely. Let me give him some help. Let me give him some company at least. Because he's stressed out. Obviously, Adam is stressed out because this is a big space, man. I know Adam is like, look, man, this is a huge space, dude. Like, this is a lot, right? Understand what I'm saying? So you say, okay, fine. Let me give you some help. Let me give you some company, a companion, and not just help, not just somebody to work with you, but somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Understand? To help lift you up and support you and keep you up, encourage you and motivate you. So let me take this person. I'm gonna create her out of you. And he said, okay, guess what? Y'all too, go to work. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. Go to work.
So that is the template. The template is we're supposed to be working. So I have a problem with being religious and not doing any work.
Yeah.
So we're quick to say Jesus take the wheel, God save our country, yada da 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 da. But he gives you the ability to talk to somebody, to mentor, to volunteer, to ask one of those people who say Jesus take the wheel to volunteer at the Girl Guides or Boy Scouts or something like that. So go volunteer. How about you go volunteer there on the weekend and see if they can show up.
I want to even move on because now this will be some toes getting crushed in a minute. Yeah. So the point well received. You have to do the work. Jesus ain't taking no wheel. As many times as you pray for him to do it, he is not taking the wheel because you is the one who want to drive. You have to do the work.
You ever notice anybody who always say, oh, let's just pray about it. Jesus take the wheel. They're the most non-proactive people in the world.
That's exactly what Kent was saying. Yeah. So let's move on to our next topic before we run out of time. Y'all see, is Homeboy in jail yet? Is Homeboy in prison? Boy, no, one boy, your friend.
What do you mean?
Donald Trump?
Uncle Trump?
Yeah,
Well,
Uncle. Yeah, Uncle Trump.
I don't hear nothing from it, I don't hear. I don't
You
hear.
ain't get no collect call?
It's not really on the news. I got over here.
I don't think he's gonna.
Listen, he ain't going no jail.
You ain't get no collect calls from prison, man.
If he was in prison, I'd call him long time.
Speaking about prison, let's go back home for a second then.
Stop living.
Since Donald Trump in
That's my boy, man.
Or if he went to jail, you think he'd come up beefy? You think he'll wake out?
No.
Anyway.
No. Not
I
gonna
see
work
that
out in jail.
the thing
Come on to where I am.
I got this voice note. Why are people so malicious? there's a voice note of this guy begging a girl for her stuff, and
A
they
lunch?
have,
What
yeah,
stuff would that be, Dyson?
A
her,
lunch, Dyson night?
her own things.
Oh, so some money?
Her own, no, he offering money. He
Oh, so
offering.
you want to ride in her car?
He want her to ride eh,
Oh, in his car,
on his,
on his bicycle,
yeah, on his.
tricycle, unicycle.
I people do it like, you know what? I'm gonna say something that kind of touchy.
Unicycle.
I was gonna
In,
mention
in the
the
circus on his unicycle. Now go ahead.
yeah, but all I could say is the way he was begging, them
Mhm.
Viagra and Red Bull is message your headache, doc.
Uh I don't
Viagra
know.
and Red Bull. You never heard about any patients.
I can't.
First
Yeah,
of
no.
all, first of all, that's a horrible combination. I hope nobody ever take them two together. That's a bad idea.
People are dying taking them, boy.
That's a
People,
bad idea to take Viagra and Red Bull. That's a horrible idea. You're looking
okay,
to die. That's probably how Samuels died.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a few people died like that. A few
yep.
people
Yep.
found
It's on the side. Probably just like, yep.
in the bed
Something, yeah,
dead
he obviously
from
died doing
Viagra and
something
Red
he's
Bull.
supposed to be doing. But that's a lot. Yeah. Anyway, if
Yeah,
it's messing with mine, I don't know, bro. But I mean, like, if you think you need to take Red Bull and Viagra, um, that should
Babe.
tell you what type of psychology is going on with that young man. Uh, First of all, man, young, old, middle age, have some dignity, man. Have some pride. Don't voice note no girl begging for nothing, man. Come on,
but
man.
this wasn't no voice note.
Don't beg. Period. Don't beg. Period. Like seriously, man. Don't beg.
Yeah,
Don't do
don't
it.
that. Don't do that.
Women don't like that. I don't care how much they say like it, how sweet they make. And I don't care if it's your girlfriend or just some regular chick. Don't never beg, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Have some pride. If you're wrong about something, be wrong and suffer the consequence like a man. If you're right, be right
Right,
and suffer the
right,
consequence like a man.
right. But listen, that's us. That's how we three think, bro. Let me tell you, the vast majority, if out of 100% of, okay, if we have 100% men, 97%, 98% of them men begging, bro. And it's pathetic. And listen, like I told you all before, I go to people's homes every day to do estimates, to do business. Okay. And I want to say out of every 10 homes I go in, at least 8, sometimes 9 of them, the dude be getting talked to any kind of way, shitted on.
Oh man.
Why he have the biggest attitude, but he have the biggest pockets.
Mm.
But let me tell you something, bro. Even though he have the biggest pockets, right? He still don't believe who he is as a man. He believe it's, and I ain't talking about young dudes our age, you know. I
Mhm.
talking about all our simps, bro. See, it's a difference. But see, we if you a simp our age, there's a possibility you could be rehabilitated. Okay, when you're an old ass simp, and I'm talking about like you past the age of 60, it's a wrap, bro. That man will black your eye, trying to tell him how to structure things in his home, bro.
Mm.
I am telling you, bro. Listen. I told you. I went through estimates. I'd come in and I'd be like, okay, meet the husband. I'd be like, okay, measure. Okay, sir. Blah blah blah. This is gonna be. Hey, hold on now. You know me. I don't make no decisions. The boss on the way. If I had $1 for every time I hear that, the boss on the way, and if
Wow.
that's how you structure your home, that's fine. But let me tell you something else. When the boss shows up, 9 times out of 10, she had the most horrible attitude. She ain't even into him. And the enthusiasm and effort that he put into the relationship, he don't even exist in her world, bro. I've seen she walk by like he ain't even alive. Yeah, do what you want to do. I keep going over and close. Listen, a close buddy of mine, bro. He fought in the Vietnam War. He stepped on a landmine, almost got his legs blown off. Okay. And because of that, they dismissed him, early dismissal. Okay.
Mhm.
So from that point forward, he been getting checks in the mail due to his injury. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
He bought a $400,000 house back in the early 90s. It was 400 grand.
Ooh, wow.
So you know right now you're looking at 3 point something million. Easy.
Right.
Okay. He got married and he tells me all the time he ain't sleep with his wife in 15 years, bro. Hold on now. Hold on now. It gets better. It gets better. He has 4 bedrooms in his house, right? The master bedroom is upstairs. The guest bedroom is downstairs, and the other 2 bedrooms on the side in the hallway upstairs. The master bedroom, she kicked him out the master bedroom. Hold on. Changed the locks in the master bedroom, right? The other 2 rooms upstairs, she have all her clothes that he buy over the years stocked out in those rooms. He have the guest room downstairs. That's where he's designated to be. And hold on now. She's a heavy church going woman, right? And she always tells him she has to go to church 3 times a week, right? And when she go to church from like 6 p.m. at night and don't come home till 11. And you all tell me about in church. And he always asks me, my friend, he's older than me. He's in his late 60s. He says, how do you feel about that? I said, listen, I almost called his name just now, Lord. I said, listen, bro, you got to get out of that situation. And then you know what he would do? Turn around and make every excuse for her behavior.
He need
So
to
you know what I
let,
said to myself? I didn't want to hear it no more.
yeah, he need to let
That's it all day.
Jesus call the realtor. Let Jesus call the realtor and sell the house.
I suggest that. I say sell the house,
Sell the
right?
house.
Sell the house. Y'all split the money. You go your way, she go hers. And get this. So he says one day, right? She went out and she didn't lock the door, and he went upstairs. He looked up in the room. When he walked in the room, she have almost a life-size picture of her pastor over her bed. Strange, right?
No, that ain't
Yeah.
strange.
It's like, okay.
That make perfect sense.
Uh,
After everything you already said, that make perfect sense.
that make perfect sense, right? So no,
Yeah,
ain't
that
strange.
make perfect sense. That means well, anyway, let's move on to another
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Bye. Old Sims will kill you. Stay away from them. Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, we got about 3 minutes here. I'm trying to figure out in this whole Jesus take the wheel situation. If I mean, let me just say this so we can start heading to the end. I believe that I've said this on the show before. God is not an external feature in us, in humans. God is within, right? And what that says to me reiterates what Kent's feelings is on the situation, which is you have to do it. You are well capable of doing it. You know what? I can't go on without finishing the point I was making about the man begging though. Sorry.
My boy stuck on that begging point.
Sorry. Because it blew my mind. It blew my
Yeah, go
mind
ahead.
because
Go ahead.
what it was the young lady must have started recording him. He gave the young lady a ride. And then the young lady started recording him when he
This was a
kept
voice note or live video.
this is a voice note. But the
Okay.
voice note is a phone recording, an audio phone recording of the man begging this gal, assaulting her, touching her when she is telling him not to touch her, asking if she won't go away, asking her if she have a passport because she's a Haitian national. So automatically he's probably trying to take advantage of this young lady, trying to say, oh, he could do things for her if she want travel. Well, whatever his case may be, and he is being a total. I don't know what y'all is calling that. That's a different level of human being to me. But the malicious part of it is the fact that they have this audio clipping attached to a sitting minister And they're trying to say that the situation is actually this minister who I understand is in front of the police or being charged with sexual assault. But the two instances is different. And then we look at the beginning of the show, said there's so many things going on, and there's so many reasons why people would feel hopeless to the point where they want to throw their hands up and say, Jesus, take the wheel, is because it's so crazy, bro. It's almost like you would not think of these things if they weren't being brought to you and put in your face. If I didn't hear the recording, I would have never believed that a man would carry on and do that to a young woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because it makes absolutely no sense. And then we look at and we try to figure out, like, what is there that we can possibly do to correct these situations? Because this is the lawlessness. That's why I say a liar is a thief and a thief is a murderer. This is the lawlessness. If you allow these things to just continuously happen without these people being punished and be made an example of, then you kind of throw your hands and be like, well, it ain't nothing I can do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm siding on the people who, if that's the case, whereas there's actually, you bringing these people to justice, you making your complaints, you're filing charges against these people, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you're still not getting any results. Like the young talent, you're practicing, you're going abroad, you're trying these things, and it just seems like there's no avenue for you to make it, and you turn to this attitude like, Jesus, take the wheel. I get it. But even so, like we said earlier in the show, this comment right here, you have to overcome every challenge. You have to do it. And like the slaves back in the day, many of them died because that's what it took for us to be whatever level of freedom this is we have now. And like you were saying, Juan, and both of you, there's a lot of people here who scream Jesus' name all the time, but would not pick up as much as a pen to sign a petition. You feel
all thoughts, no action.
But we benefit from people who literally had to die. They were murdered in order for us to be where we are today. So I say, did Jesus take the wheel, people? Or hold on to the wheel. Let Jesus sit in the back seat. Jesus do a lot. Jesus didn't die. For Christ's sake. He didn't die on the cross. Let him sit in the back. You know, give Jesus a ride, because Jesus been walking for a long time, right? Let Jesus sit in the back seat, and let's move our homes, our neighborhoods, our country, our world. And y'all know we had war, but y'all know Russia and Ukraine war with missiles and tanks and foolishness like that. In 2023, when cars supposed to fly, y'all know we from that era when cars, the futuristic, when beam me up, Scotty, we supposed to be teleporting and flying in cars right now.
Cars supposed to fly and skateboards supposed to be hovering now.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Anyway, last words, gents, because Jesus, let me Jesus sit in my box seat. Very cool. Don't put him in the trunk.
I think you closed it out well, Dyson. I really don't want to talk too much behind you, but I'm going to say, I'm going to keep it very short and just say, 100% agree with what you're saying. Jesus gave us the wheel. He gave us the template. And there's nothing wrong with being afraid, being concerned. There's nothing wrong with calling out to Jesus to say, take the wheel, or calling out for whatever type of help you're calling out for. If Jesus is not your thing, whatever your source of help is. But what that is supposed to do is reinforce you and strengthen you so that you can grab hold of the wheel again, get focused back, and get your vehicle, your life back on track. You know, so I'm just keep it there. But that's the reason why we really brought this topic this week, is because we want to just remind and encourage everybody. It was a crazy week. A lot of crazy stuff happened, and it feels like a Jesus take the wheel week. But this is I need to grab maybe a week. That's the
Yeah.
type of week this is.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Everybody must remember one important thing. You can send up all the prayers you want. You can go to church all you want. You could kumbaya all you want, right? And I'm not saying in some instances that does not help. But if you're not proactive to the point to actually get that situation that you want to be taken care of going, as far as taking the initiative and helping self first. Don't expect nobody else to help you, especially if you're able to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part about it is people that talk that way, they want others to do everything, but they don't want to do nothing for themselves. But you don't want to be the problem, which is crazy. All right. Faith means a lot, but faith means even more when actions are accompanied with it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go on too much. Just I always end it, bad guy way. I'm the good guy this week. Dyson Knight is a bad guy this week. All right. But yeah.
I got little hands.
You got to be proactive, man. Be proactive with yourself. Be proactive in life in general. And if something's not working for you, don't be afraid to explore different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the downfall of, I'm speaking from young men, you don't want to let things go and move on. Sometimes the next best thing be right in front of your eyes, but you're so stuck on making what you think works work that it passes you by. You know what I mean? But yeah, stay proactive, stay faithful, and give Jesus a rest, man. Give him a ride. Like Dyson said,
right.
give him
That's it. It's episode 32 of the Something Show. Jesus take the wheel. We understand that Jesus is going to be in the back seat. Y'all going to drive yourself. Self. It's been a pleasure, gents, once again. Warren Knowles, Dr. Kemp Bazard. I'm Dyson Knight. We're here every Sunday at 6:30. That's Eastern Central.
That's it.
That's what our time is. EST.
Man, look at 6:30.
6:30.
6:30 every Sunday, live via Facebook. Thanks for joining in. Leave your comments. We'll get to them sometime in the future. Next week, the topic will be, stay tuned.
You actually had me paying attention for a second. Take care, guys.
Yeah, bro.